Hi, and in today's video we're going to be looking at the Milwaukee M12 inspection camera. Now, purchased this off eBay for spares or repair. Apparently the screen lights up, but you don't get any image on the screen, so I'll insert a battery. Press the power. I've got 3 lights on there. The screen is dimly lit. I don't know whether that'll show on the camera or not, but I can see a faint backlight. There's no light on the camera and no image. Right then, let's take it apart and see if we can find out what the problem is. Right, okay, I've got 4 screws at the back there, so I should just grab a screwdriver like that. Right, what we've got here then. Okay. Anyway, I'll see if I can take this out, this battery connector, and then it might be easier to plug the battery in for test purposes. So I'm not sure where the problem is. I'm not sure if the problem's going to be at this end or on the screen end. Yeah, well, might as well take the whole thing apart just to see what we're up against here. So let's move that to one side. Nice. Right, let's see if we can put it half together for test purposes. Right. Let's see if we can work out what pins are what on this camera connector. Right, that looks like a ground here. So if I switch it on, that should be on there now. Right, we've got 3.5 volts on the first pin. Nothing on the second. Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing there. I think that's for switching the light on. We'll just double check those again. 3.5. Nothing. Nothing. Oh, there's a 12 volt there now. Right, so I think that pin there, yeah, so that's probably camera supply. That white or grey coloured wire there, that seems to be power for the LED in the camera module. I'll just disconnect the battery a sec. We'll have a ground somewhere, so I think one or two of these might be ground, so let's just go into diode check. Right, so the first one's a ground. We know that's 12 volt for the light. That looks to be a ground. .70. Ah, hold on then. See if I can get my probe on there again. It's a bit hard to get on for the coating. Right, well that's about 72 to 75 ohms. And that resistance is normally used as a terminator for video signals. So I think we've got power, video signal, ground, 12 volt for the light, and then another ground. Because obviously we're still, well, I think the problem's in the camera end, to be quite honest, but we don't know if the screen actually works. I wonder if I've got anything I can supply a video signal with. I'll just pause the video a second, I'll just have a quick scout about. Right, so I managed to find an old CCTV camera module, which I believe is composite video. So I've just wired it up to the 12 volt there, and I'm just going to use this this little scraping tool here to inject the signal onto what I think is the video pin. So I'll just switch the unit on. That should be it on there, and that should, I'm just seeing something on the screen there. It's a bit hard to try and if I point that way. There we go. I don't know if you can see that. What we do appear to have a picture there. It's quite hard to hold it on and turn it at the same time. There we go. Yeah, I mean the picture's not quite right on the screen, but it could be due to this camera module. Not the screen's actually displaying a picture there, so that suggests that this part's actually working correctly. And the problem appears to be in this in the camera module or associated wiring. So I'll just disconnect this. And I'll just unplug the battery a second. I'll kind of put this to one side. And we'll have a look at this camera module now then. Now, I'm not sure how I'm actually going to get into this thing. It's the cable is all glued in at this end. Now I would think a brake is usually at the place of the most stress, so I would have thought it'll probably be either a brake somewhere around about there or somewhere around about here. I'm not sure how we're actually going to get into this. I don't know if it unscrews. It looks like the metal bendy tube goes onto a piece of plastic and then onto this metal tube that actually holds the camera and the LEDs. Right, I'll just see if I can find some pliers and something to try and put round here so we don't really mark it that much. Right, so after a fair bit of heat and picking away at this white stuff, there was actually a nut holding this assembly, holding the camera assembly on the back of the unit. I've actually damaged the cable, the outer of the cable slightly when trying to get it off. Now I'm not sure whether you can buy a camera module, but what I did notice is when I took this rubber cover off, there was actually some moisture. There was actually some water came out of here, so I don't know whether this has been submerged in water and water's getting into the camera and shorted it out. The only thing I can think we could try is maybe cutting this camera module off with a little bit of length, let's see about that, and then checking the continuity from the wires to there, and if not, then it's actually going to be the camera module. I don't know whether you can actually buy a separate camera module for the end, or whether you'd whether you can buy a whole complete unit, but we'll have to see when we come to that. So I think what I'm going to do, because I've tried getting that camera module apart, I had some rubber and a pair of pliers, I had this gripped trying to get it, and it started to deform the shape of it slightly. So I think it's probably filled with similar stuff like this, unfortunately. But we'll give this a go and see if we can get anywhere with it. At the moment, but it's proven to be a bit of a challenge. Oh. Well, I think that's the problem. The old wires have just pulled out. So, that's the problem. The wires have been pulled off the camera module. Right, looks like we've got no choice but to try and get into this now then. I guess somebody's bent this at an angle like that and basically pulled the wires out the back of it. Yeah, there was literally no force at all there, that just slid straight out. Well, at least we know what the problem was. Right. Well, I can see the camera module in there, and it's moving around slightly, but I don't know whether I can get it out. It seems to be held at the front. It's actually moved slightly. Maybe hope for this yet. only thing is, I don't know whether it'll come out in one piece still. Oh, there we go, we're getting there. There's the actual CCD sensor there. If it'll come into focus. Yeah, there's the actual CCD sensor, and there's the actual lens with the LED lights on there, and that's where the wires have been. Right, I might have to set the microscope up on this and see if we can solder some wires on. I think it's going to be a bit of a challenge this still though. Right. Okay, bear with us a moment and I'll see if I can get some something set up here. Right then, so I've soldered the wires back on. I've reassembled the camera tube. I've just put a bit hot glue just on the inside there and pushed it together. So it's a pity I actually cut that, because if I hadn't have, it would have been repaired sort of pretty much you know, spot on. But unfortunately, because I've cut that, we'll have to see if we can reinforce this somehow with some heat shrink or tape or something. But we'll have to see if it works. Looks like we've got success. Let's see if the LED light works. Yeah. Alright then, so we'll reassemble it. One of the other things I did was I broke one of the ferrite cores on purpose, so we had a bit more extra cable to get through, because otherwise the cable would have been a little bit too short. But like I say, it's just a ferrite choke. It's just to stop a little bit of interference. So it's already got one on. I don't think it really needs two anyway. So right, we'll start reassembling the thing then. Right, let's move some stuff out of the way. Right, we'll reassemble the screen and whatever first. Oh yeah. I just put some tape around there. I mean, it's not ideal, but it's working. So, well, I think we'll call this another successful repair. If you like this video, please give it the thumbs up. If you want to see more like it, please subscribe, and as always, have a great day. Thanks for watching.